I'm running a white hot right now. We're just kind of out here just checking out these maize fields to see if there's any hogs moving around.
Man, what the hell is that thing?
Need to adjust it to get it back on level. If I'm doing a spot and stock, be ready to roll. Hey guys, just got over to Sean's house. Got to pick up a couple of cameras. We got a camera on one of our properties that's giving us a bunch of crap, so we're going to replace it with a different camera. So let's go talk to Sean.
Here's your camera. I took off the Tioga wheat field.
Okay. And it's
Or hay field. That's off the hay field.
Okay,
and it is working, and it's got new batteries in it. This one's brand new. We need to replace the Tioga maize camera because it hadn't been sending pics.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, and I'll just zip tie this to the pole.
That's extra antenna. They'll probably fit your Moultrie camera.
All right.
All right.
Good
All right,
enough,
buddy.
dude. All right, dude.
All right.
See you later. We're going to go home, grab a few things, and then we're going to be heading to Tioga to look over a couple of fields. Okay, so we got one of the problem cameras. This one's already been replaced. And then we got a camera to replace one that's giving us crap over there. We've just been having a heck of a time with cameras lately, so we're just starting to swap them out. We're not going to jack around with these cameras anymore. That thing's just hard to practice. We're just going to replace them, put new cameras out. And I'm going to talk for a couple minutes here about these camera issues we've been having. So we run two different apps for these cameras. One is going to be the Moultrie app, and then the other one is the Stealth app. With the Stealth app, you've got the Stealth cameras and the Muddy cameras. And so far what we found out, and man, I don't know what the hell's going on with these cameras, but I don't know if it's some kind of switching over to 5G shit or what's going on, but these cameras have just been a huge problem. We have 23 cameras out, and we're slowly just starting to replace the ones that are giving us crap. I got a super good deal on these Moultrie cameras when I first bought them, and these Moultrie cameras were on clearance, and I was like, well, they're a cell cam, I'm just gonna pick them up. You know, they're like a $70 camera, and they were on sale for like 40 bucks a piece after deer season, so I bought just a buttload of them. They work pretty good for, I don't know, probably 6 months or whatever, and slowly, one by one, these cameras have been giving me crap. So I've been calling the company, and you know, of course, you have to have the camera with you, so you got to go out to the woods and get the camera, and then you can't really call them in most places that we're at because we've got bad cell service. So you bring the darn thing home, and then you go through the whole rebooting process with their tech support and switching out SD cards, blah, 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 blah. It just goes on and on. So these cheaper Moultrie cameras, I'm just going to line all them up and take target practice on them, and that'll be a good video that I'll be having here in the future. They did offer me a discounted code on their brand new camera. Actually, I've got one down there on the floor. This camera, so let me explain cell cams. So a lot of these cameras, so they'll work on either like a Verizon or AT&T, and you got to put an SD card in them and all this other crap. This new camera that they came out with has no SD card. It's all done internally, and it doesn't pull off of a particular cell phone provider. So we've got certain cameras that are on a Verizon plan, and then some that are on an AT&T plan, and all this other stuff. And then you got to have, of course, this certain SD card in them, otherwise they don't work, and it's just a whole racket of crap. So anyways, this new camera out doesn't use an SD card, and it pulls off all cell phone providers. So wherever you're at, wherever has the strongest signal, that's what it pulls off of. So I got a couple of these, and they are Moultrie cameras. Pretty doggone happy with them so far. Places that I did not have service, or I had really sketchy service, man, they've been great. They pull right up. Most of our cameras are, 2.5, 3 years old. Some of them are 2 years old. And you'd like to think that a camera would last you for several years before you'd have to go through and start replacing them, especially when you have 23 of them. But we've just got to the point where, we make our living with these stealth cams. Or not stealth cams, but with our cell cams. And, having 23 of these cameras out on, spread out over these properties, it's one of those things that we need to know minute by minute. Our cameras are set on 5-minute intervals for taking photos, but we need to know when there's hogs on these cameras. I mean, hog gets on the camera, we need to know right now. We need to know every 5 minutes that it's there, because we might be traveling 25, 30 minutes to get to it. When you start noticing that this thing's eating up batteries faster than it should, it could be that camera's getting ready to go down because it's not pulling service right, and it's just constantly, pinging and pulling, trying to get service. So I don't know. We're gonna get out and swap out that other camera. I'll take this one that I've got back here, and I'm gonna take that sumbitch out and shoot it with my 357. But I've actually got a few of those at home that we'll line up and do that with. It'll be cool. But I don't know what I'm gonna do with the other one. I might end up just shooting that damn thing too. All right, we're just getting out here to Tioga. We've got all these fields on this side, on the right-hand side over here. And we've got to swap out some camera batteries on the furthest point. And then we're going to come back and swap out the camera on this field over here. And then we're going to start watching for hogs moving. We're going to drive by this house right here. This is where it all started in Tioga. This guy's yard was literally rotor-tilled from these pigs, and he just recently replanted it. So, oh yeah, it's growing back. So we've pretty much alleviated his pig problem. That whole yard was all dirt from the pigs. There's still a few spots out there, but boy, the pigs really tore that up. And that's what got us all these properties around here. So now we've got 933 acres out here just because of that one property. So he's sitting on 2 acres, and his yard was getting tore up. And I told him, I said, the only way that we're going to be able to control these pigs is to get the property around you. So that's what we did. We started reaching out to these guys, and because everybody out here pretty much has a pig problem, they didn't have any problem at all giving us access to their properties. It's a pretty big chunk of property right here. And then we've got a ag field up around the corner. That's where we're going to slide in and change out those camera batteries real quick. Lots of chili crabs. All right, guys, I'm going to pop these batteries out so I can get my fingernails to work. And so what I always do, because I go through so many batteries and replace batteries all the time, is I always throw my used batteries in a water bottle. So that way I don't have 8,000 batteries floating around the back of my truck or wherever it might be. So just stick them in here and get rid of them. That way I know which ones are bad, which ones are good. Right, we're going to pop this back in. Should start powering up. Battery's good. Yeah, we had a ton of deer on this feeder, and only some hogs every once in a while, and it's kind of strange that we've got so much corn underneath that feeder. Nothing's been coming in here for at least a couple of days. Right, she's done. All right, this one's done. We're ready to get out of here and go to the other spot. We got to slide up here and get this camera swapped out, and then we're just going to kind of sit out here for a little bit tonight as it's getting dark, and use the thermal and kind of scan around a little bit and see if we've got some pigs moving around. It's kind of hard to tell, with all this tall maize, and then we've got a big cornfield back off on the other side, and it's pretty tough to expect to see the pigs and get on the pigs here because they're hiding out in all this tall stuff. Holy balls, did that grow up. Man, I might have to rethink this feeder over here. Man, this stuff, you got a little bit of rain and this stuff grew, you can't even get in here and see. Well, I guess if we get noticed on camera, we'll be able to sneak up on them and shoot on them, but we did come in here with the weed eater and did a little bit of trimming. Let me turn this one off and turn it back on and see what it does. I don't know why this one quit working. Yep, Could be batteries. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, it looks all good. I'm going to do a test on it real quick. All right, well, feeder's working. Got a new camera up, so we'll check that other camera and see what's going on with it, why it's not working. We're just going to kind of hang out a little bit and do a little bit of scanning with the thermal and see if we got any pigs walking around. God, I can't believe the way all these weeds grew up. I guess that's what a little bit of rain does. So I'm going to start with doing a little bit of scanning down on this end of the field. Reason being is we've got a couple of maize fields behind us, but that far corner over there is a cornfield. So we're going to go set up over here and give a little bit of time and see if we get anything walking across this field. All right, guys, I'm on white hot. You can see that, you know, a lot of these bales are going to hold some heat, so they'll have some stronger heat signatures on the edge of these bales. You can see them holding the heat. But you know, here's a pretty cool little fact. So you look at this feeder over here. You can see how the bottom half of that feeder is so much hotter, brighter than the top of the feeder. That's your corn level. That corn will hold heat throughout the day inside that feeder, and that gives you the level. You can also look at like oil tanks, and when you see the oil tanks, it'll give you the oil level in them. You'll be able to see right to them and tell what the level is. Another thing you can use the thermal for is both heating and cooling loss in your home. So you'll be able to see those hot spots or those cold spots in your house. And you can switch it to all kinds of different color palettes. I'm running on white hot right now. We're just kind of out here just checking out these maize fields to see if there's any hogs moving around.
Yeah, what the hell is that thing? Oh, that ain't a coyote. Looks like we got a couple of bunnies flashing out there, but even though that thing is way the hell out there, I'm going to guess that thing to be a skunk. Because now the way that it's moving, I mean, it was hauling ass in the beginning, but now the way that it's moving, and you can kind of barely get a glimpse from this far away about a little bit of a fluffy tail. Yep, there goes that skunk right there. You can see his tail sticking in the air.
Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Got down in here and you know, checking for some pig activity on these fresh baled fields, and right now we're sitting in a hayfield. And all we saw was a skunk and a couple of coyotes, a couple of rabbits. We got a storm to the south of us, and a lot of times, you know, if you ask a fisherman about barometric pressure, man, they'll swear by it. You know, if you catch the pressure on the right up or down spike, you know, the fish are really biting, and I swear by it with the pigs. If you catch them on a big barometric pressure change, you know, their animals, you know, can feel that. But the thing is, you catch them at the wrong point. We got a storm down here to the south of us. I think that the storm or the presence of that storm coming in kind of pushed them into the trees, and they're kind of hunkering down right now. So we'll just have to get out and get on them tomorrow night. We're out of here. Thanks.